Now, Joseph Brant, his Mohawk birth name was Tyendinaga. And he was born on the shores of the Ohio River when his parents had gone hunting and fishing. And he was born in 1743. Now, as I walked up the road, I saw it was getting close to the house. And if I could give you any advice when you're walking towards a warrior's house, you have to do it carefully. It's like walking in the forest in spring when mama bear's out with the babies. You want to walk around with a bell. But I didn't have a bell, but I always have my whistle. When I turned 18, Sir William sent me to school. He sent me to school in Connecticut. And that's where I learned to read and write the white man's language. And that's also where I embraced the white man's God. Was appointed captain in the British Army. But I was also the war chief for the Six Nations. I was faithful to the king, and I was faithful to my people. I was a man of two worlds. It's time to get involved. And I told them to join me, and that we were going to join the British and fight the Americans. But we could not get a consensus. Not long after that happened the Battle of Oriskany. And there, for the first time, the Indians on both sides were in the forefront of this battle. And for the first time in centuries, the Six Nations fought against each other. This was a sad day. And I was blamed for breaking up the Confederacy. But what was I supposed to do? And not long after that, a settlement in Wyoming was raided and hundreds were killed. And I wasn't even there. But they blamed me for this massacre. And they called me Monster Brant. Then after that, there was the fight at Cherry Valley. Again, 200 civilians were killed. And God knows how many of my brothers. And again, I was there with Captain Butler, but they blamed Monster Brant for the massacre. I am not a monster. I have spared the children. I have spared the old and the weak. I had the children and the women marked with my sign so they could be spared. I am not a monster. Our lands. And at first, the British, they got involved. They wanted to fight the Americans because they were trying to protect the fur trade. But then first thing you know, they were negotiating. And in the process of negotiating, they negotiated no land for us. I felt betrayed. Silent. And then I saw him light his pipe. And he raised his head. And he blew smoke to the sky. And I knew at that moment he was sending prayers of hope and forgiveness to the Creator with the ascending smoke. the way his people did, and the way his people had done long before the white man came to this land. And then he lowered his head, he looked at me, and he said, my parents couldn't have picked a better name for me. Tyendinaga means two sticks bound together. I love my Mohawk spirit. Yet, I am full of the white culture that has embraced me. Both of them are now inseparable. I am truly a man of two worlds. And I acknowledged that I too was a man of two worlds, a Métis, and that thousands of us roam this beautiful country. Thousands of us proud to have the blood of our brothers and sisters from the First Nation running in our blood. And thousands of us also that think that we should give them respect by honoring the treaties of our forefathers. Joseph Brant was a gentleman officer. Tyendinaga was an Iroquois warrior diplomat. He was a survivor that danced with the conqueror. He was a warrior that fought for his people. And like they say in my Anishinaabe lineage, do not judge a man until you have walked for 2 moons in his moccasins.